Iko Nini. So leo ni the last day of 2025 and before nianze wacha nibaki nimesema a big shout out to you najua for being with me on this journey this year and supporting the channel and yeah, asante man. 2025 has been a really good year for Iko Nini, so it's just one of those let and I hope that 2026 itakuwa better because I'll be honest, like tumekuwa tukimake strides that I didn't expect. Like in 2021 our target was to reach like 10,000 subscribers by the end of 2022, but what ended up happening was we ended up hitting 10,000 subscribers in the same year, najua that's 2021, and after that I think the growth imekuwa exponential. I think by 2024 tushafika 100,000, so yeah, it's been a good journey and yeah, thank you for that man. This would not happen without you, so this is one of the things ile niko na feel ni kama na need kusema for this year and of course apart from that, like no journey is ever as smooth as you expect it to be, and pia apart from that another thing that happens is things that maybe by the time they're happening we look at them as very small events, they end up being bigger than what you thought they'd be, and with that of course lazima nibaki nime address the elephant in the room, and the elephant in the room is kuna wase wamekuwa kini accuse, wanasema that Mwafreeka ended up copywriting the phrase raw and uncut, and the reason why wanasema hivyo ni jana kulikuwa na a statement that was released by best yangu because I still classify him as a friend, Rapcha the Sayantist, and let's read the statement and then tutago through your story ile nasemekana that I copyrighted raw and uncut. So story ilikuwa ni raw and uncut 5 update. I'd like to apologize to all Rapcha Sayantist fans who are anticipating a stand-up comedy special this December. I was unable to be on stage due to unavoidable circumstances, but I'll be back soon. Raw and Uncut 4 performed in December 2024 marked the end of Raw and Uncut series from Rapcha. I want to thank everyone who made it possible, without forgetting the fans who attended Raw and Uncut 1, 2 and 3 and 4 since 2009. You are part of history. Then nikamaliza na subsequent stand-up comedy specials from Rapcha will be themed and bear different titles depending on the material to be performed on stage. All updates and promotion for Rapcha Sayantist stand-up comedy specials will be announced on Cheesy Podcast. Any other sources of information should be treated as cheap rumors. Happy New Year, Rapcha Sayantist. And I felt like this is the best time to address his story, so that this is a story for 2025. In 2026 we will not talk about this story again. If you're wondering where this statement came from, I think ni majuzi. I think maybe I don't know if I was on Eotwe ama it was here, because I do so many podcasts, I don't know, but I was asked if there was a way back and I was like yeah, I think even 2026 would be a good year to do both 5 and 6 raw and cut. I've been involved in all the raw and cuts, but this thing has ended up being not what I expected it to be. Najua I've always been very opinionated, and that's the reason why, like the waswali kuja Iko Nini late wanasikiaga nikitumia phrase kama Kajito mbe wanasema ni ego, but it's not ego. That was the attitude of the show from day one, so it's always been like they're about the opinion. So ingine I'll say this surprised me. Like if you told me on that day when we did that video you're reacting to the whole calligraph thing, that this is how it would turn out to be, I think I'd have gone a different path. I'd not have done it. Najua I'm big enough to admit that I didn't expect it to be this deep. Najua I expected that this is mtu tumejuana for over 20 years and I'm close to 20 years. No, close to 20 years. I think so. I expected him to be able to know me. Like if you've survived na mimi long enough, you know that I'm very opinionated, and you know one thing about me is, and this is something that as I've grown, like nimekam to realize that I clap for people a lot. I never take other people's success as competition or what. So sometimes I'll react when I feel like someone is treating it that way. I'll react, and maybe that is wrong. So I didn't expect this to happen, but if it's the end of Raw and Cut, I'm happy, man. I've been part of history. And another thing that happened is I think because of all this commotion, kuna uliza kama nime copyright the name Ronan Cut. No, I've not copyrighted it. This is something that belongs to Rapcha, najua. And I think maybe the reason why people might think that is, did I come up with that phrase Ronan Cut? Yes, I came up with it. But do I own it? No. Najua, like this is a friend. This is someone I've known for a very long time. So yes, that's it. Another thing that needs to happen is vile nashindaga nikisema, this thing ended up being deeper than that, like what we expected it to be. So even one of the things is I have a copy of Ronan Cut 4 that has not been released. I'm not holding back on it. The thing has been like, how do I deliver it to someone who does not pick up calls, who does not do what. So this is, I'm addressing this for the last time in 2025. We will not address this matter anymore. So tunamaliza leo ni siku ya mwisho. So that's why I'm addressing it. So one of the things that I'm going to really try to do, even if I have to buy a hard disk, I think I'm going to buy, because it's in 4K, I'm going to buy a flash disk, and I'll get this flash disk delivered so that mse wote asiseme that mimi nimekazia Ronan Cut 4 kutokea. I don't want people to watch it. Unajua, was I involved in Ronan Cut 4 as much as I'd have wanted to know? I was not involved in it. And I think with now in hindsight, we start looking at these things and we see maybe the writing was on the wall. Najua, maybe nani alikuwa na some, what can I call it? Like he had some feelings, maybe that he used to have for some time that I didn't know about. I thought we were cool. And then whatever happened. And yeah, so this is sad, man. But this is, I was really hopeful, man, for 5 and 6. I'm a stand-up comedy fan. That's one of the things. Like kama unanijua, most probably kaujapatana na mimi kwa show ya kina stand-up collective, umepatana na mimi somewhere. Like I've always been a fan of that. So I'm going to miss this. This is one of those things that I'm really going to miss. And yeah, I want to produce a few comedy shows. One of the interesting things, I think this came to me when now wacha to digress kidogo. I remember when Nani tried his comedy career. I'm going to put this out. Anaitwa nani, Andrew Kibe, and it didn't go as well as he expected. And I always thought, what if I produce that first Andrew Kibe, whatever. It's something I'm going to pitch to him also. Like Buddha, if you want to go back to this stand-up shit and you need someone, I'm very bad producer, I won't lie to you, because if it's not funny, I'll tell you it's not funny, and that can end up being bad. But I'm sure you yake ingekuwa much better than it was. So yes, that's how 2025 has been. So it's been an year of ups and downs. Yes, so if you come to the podcast in general, we did better numbers than we'd done in all the other years, and so as they say, numbers don't lie. So there's that. But kikuja to Ronan Cut, that one I feel sad, man. That had become like part of my life, and it's so interesting how life works, because on the day that we did that reaction video, I remember Ian was busy outlining to me the dreams that he had of Ronan Cut 5 and how he expected this to happen, and this was the way to scale it up. For it to have reached here, there's a point where I think in my mind, like when I was first reacting, nika blame the fans. I was like, my fans wanna come in between. But then you sit down and you're like, no. You see, you can never blame the audience, because the famous phrase every creative is told is the audience does not know what it wants. So it's up to the creatives themselves to be like, you know what, I've known this person for this amount of time, and since I've known them for this amount of time, we're allowed to have different opinions on a lot of stuff. And yes, that's number one. Another thing that I've come to learn about the game, because I'm a student of the game and I learn a lot of stuff about it. Another thing that I've come to learn about the game is you need to collaborate. You can't survive in this industry alone. Mafans watakuchocha. Never forget that. I always say this thing, where mafans watakuchocha and they'll tell you how you do not need this, you do not need that, you do not need these people, all you need is the fans. But you come on the ground and you realize kwa ground vitu ni different. You need people. You need to collaborate with people. You need to, that's why sometimes like I hold my opinion back on a lot of stuff. Kuna vitu zile siongeagi. You'll find that I don't like if I see a creative who's really shining and they're really doing their thing and making it in life and what, ni rare sana find me like commenting negatively about it. Kuna watu watakuwa like, but what about that other guy? That was not a creative. Unajua, if it's someone is running a scam, they're running a scam in quotes, and I'll expose the scam. Unajua? So don't try and claim that person was a creative. I'm not going to mention who, but you know who I'm talking about. That was a scam, and that's why I talked about the scam. And the scam was dangerous. There was someone who'd, I think, lost 26 million. Who was 26 million akarudishiwa 20 million. That was different, man. Like, kuna wase who are waiting for their first car, wale walikuwa sijui wanapoteza 3 million, 4 million. It looks like small money to you before you lose it, but to a lot of us it's a lot of money. So that's how that happened. But it's hard for me to go out of my way to bring down someone who's making it in a certain way, because I know how tough this game is, and I know how much we self-doubt ourselves, because I think a lot of people fikiriaga like this thing is so simple that every day you wake up and you are sure about yourself, and I keep telling people, no, you're not sure. That's why sometimes unapataga like the self-doubt can be too much. And for example, I always give the example of how when I first reacted to kwa funeral ya ilikuwa nani, where ya nini, a sister Raila Wilalidedi, and there was the whole story of Babu Owino, and I felt like Babu was the one being targeted, and then everyone told me no, it's not Babu, and I doubted myself, ended up pulling down the video. So you check those things. Those are the things that happen to you as a creative, and you go through all these things, and during that moment the other people who can actually assure you and show you on the right path are other creatives. So I won't lie to you, I'm the sort of dude ule nishaambia this year. I won't lie to you, I've called Butita a couple of times kumuitisha advice. I've called Abel kumuitisha advice. I've called, like, I call people najua, and I've called Obina kumuitisha advice. So this is something that I normally do. I just call people up and I'm like, hey, this is what I'm going through, this is what I'm trying to do, how can I do this? And people advise me on how to do 1, 2, 3 things. So in that process, what happens is I have created a system where I need other people. Najua, so I need the likes of kina Mwafreeka. Najua, Mwafreeka is such a cool dude. Opena kunile hata yeye mwenyewe akindungia big bro. So I like, and if I look at Mwafreeka, I'm like, this guy has achieved much more than I've achieved, and he's achieved things that I only dream of. So so these are people that I reach out to. So in the small Iko Nini world that I've created, it's a world where I feel like I need people. So I need to collaborate more than isolate myself. And with that in mind, I normally, another thing that I know is how hard it is to be successful in this game. And because of that, najuaga why we need to uplift each other more than pull each other down. And in the process, because of that, sometimes I rub my friends the wrong way. Najua, because a friend of mine atakuja kininini, afu nitakuwa like, don't do that. And then when the fans get involved with the fans, and I'm a hip hop fan, so as hip hop fans, we've always loved, in quotes, beef. Najua, it's something that imekuwa kitu jazz. Nilicheka sana majuzi when I learned something that at some point Tupac used to think that Exhibit was dissing him, and I'm a very big Exhibit fan. Najua mimi ule mse upendaga kuenjoy. I say that like one of my favorite albums, Exhibit, inaitwa The Speed of Life, because yes, life comes at you super fast. And why did Tupac think that Exhibit was dissing him? Because Exhibit alikuwa na hii ngoma kwa chorus kwa paparazzi, afi kwa ni it's a shame niggas in the rap game only for the money and the fame. And at some point Tupac had talked about being in the game for the money and the fame, so he felt like it was a diss. But Exhibit was not even thinking about Tupac akiandika hiyo. And you see, that time there was no internet, so that beef was not blown up to that capacity. So eventually Exhibit limit Park, and that didn't end up being what it would have ended up being. But the fans always want beef. Yes, that's one of the things they want. They want nibaki nimetokea, niko like, fuck this, f that, who I'm saying useless, who I'm saying what. And I'll do that with politicians, because a lot of politicians have not earned their money. But creatives, damn, creatives, like, people have earned their money, man. People have worked their asses off. People have sat down and had sleepless nights just to make something work. and I'll always respect that more than some corrupt politician who sort of like, oh, Mwaf, kwa nini unachukia nini? I'm like, nacheki, like these corrupt politicians who didn't work for anything, why am I supposed to respect them? Najua. And so yeah, so that's what has happened. So yeah, that's my 2 cents about the statement. The statement, it is what it is. Go through the comments, nasemekana nili make the biggest mistake, and yeah, people are, you can, like, kila mtu iko entitled to their opinion. If you feel like that was the biggest mistake, am I leaving the door open? Yes, I'm leaving the door open. Will I be the one to reach out? No. At some point, you can only reach out so much, and you can only, in the olive branch, you can only whatever it for so much. But what I want to do is I want to make sure that your Ronan Cut 4, it's released and people watch it. And I want to also make it clear, I don't own the copyright. I've not trademarked Ronan Cut. Have I trademarked Iko Nini? Yes, that one. Yani me trademark jo. Afu nilishtuka sana jo. Trademark were going expire after 10 years. I'm there like, what the fuck? Alafu when you apply for a trademark, it takes such a long time to come out, and then you're told you only own it for 10 years. So kama hii yangu dili, when I asked for it, this was when. So yeah, this is trademark, man. I don't know kama nitawapatia the trademark number, but it's just good to know, man, that the trademark is owned by Mwafreeka. You come to trademark Iko Nini. So that's the only thing I've trademarked. Sija trademark kitu yote, sija trademark Kajitombe, sija trademark Ronan Cut, sija trademark. Why? I don't need to do that. But cheki. Alafu, we live in that world where collaboration, as I keep saying, it's a very important thing. So I never thought about that. So for every fool, like, Mwaf, trademark, Mwaf ana roho chafu, trademark. I've not trademarked anything. Yoni kitu nani kita kurana nayo, nzabaki amerana nayo. I didn't think this was this deep. And yeah, the only song that comes to mind ni ngoma fulani. Nishaibonkaga juu ngoma tukiwa na Zach. It was one of my favorite songs. I think, I don't know if it was 2022 or 2023, when it was Hidden Animosity. And Hidden Animosity is one of those things where it happens with all of us, where a friend of you can have a few problems with you and they never tell you. And then it takes something else to make that hidden animosity come out. And that's what I'm going to describe this as. This is 2025. This is a 2025 problem, and we're living it in 2025. But all I can say is this is a case of hidden animosity. Whatever happened was not that deep. It should not have turned into what it turned into. Najua. The door should have always been open. These comedy shows should have still happened. Najua. But if that's the case, that's the case. Because pia, you see, now kwa mafans ilikuwa like bila this and this Mwaf ameisha. So you see now, if that's what watu wana believe, na mi pia natoka from the school of Iko Nini, so niko zile za Iko Nini. Najua, like yeah, when you come from like the sort of background ile nimetoka from, you have to be self-reliant. So I'm a very self-reliant sort of person. Like, I don't know if that makes sense. I'm the sort of person who before niambie mtu afanye kitu, I always ask myself, is this something that I would do? So I can never ask you to do something that I don't think I can do. Nacheki. So it comes to putting in hours. If I'm asking you to put in 10 hours, it's because I know I can put in 16 hours. So I've always been that sort of person. And with that in mind, with that level of like sort of independence, inakuwaga ni zile za, you don't expect things from people that they don't expect from themselves. Najua, you only expect people to kufanya kila nataka kufanya. So yeah, this is another opportunity. Azile raya kuniambia, mi kutoka leo jo nimeacha kuiwatch. Kutoka leo. Sijali. By kesho utakuwa kusema uliacha kuwatch last year. And that will make it seem like a very long time. Sindio? So yeah, it is what it is, man. Damn, man. No Ronan Cut 5, no Ronan Cut 6. But I do not own the copyright, man. So miss me with that bullshit, yo. Msasi kama, Mwaf, una own copyright. Zizi, umekataa mtu kutumia. Zizi. Man, it is what it is. This is what some fans wanted. So that they can cut me down. Najua kulikuwa na hizo raya kama hizo zilikuwa buda kanaendaje. But for 2026, what are we going to do, man? We're going to make it bigger, better. And yeah, but pia kuna raya zinaniuliza, what about the weekend update? You need to get like another comedian, put on zizi. That was meant to be the three of us. And you made Daddy too evil. I don't think we'll ever have a version of that. Will I still hang out with comedians? Yes. Will I still to go to comedy shows? Yes. Will I still try to produce a comedy show? Yes. I really want to produce another comedy show. Nacheki. That's just one of the things that I've always wanted. I'm a big stand-up comedy fan. And yeah, but pia tukimalizia this, lazima nikuambie that in May we'll be celebrating Iko Nini at 5. We're thinking of doing it bigger, better, and somehow. So look out for that. But hey, hizi ni news za 2025, so wacha tuzimalizie tukisema Iko Nini. Yeah, wacha ni interrupt show kukuremind kuwa LemFi inakupatia a chance to win a flight to East Africa, and all you have to do ni send money home na pia refer a friend. Alafu kisha refer a friend, una stand chance ya kuwin a $2,000 flight voucher. Na usisahau jo, kifanya history yote promo code ni IKONINI. Usisahau pia like on your first $50 transaction unabaki umegeta sign up reward ya $20. So damn, cheki jo hiyo. Na in the process una support IKONINI. So usisahau kutumia promo code IKONINI. Na cheki. So hiyo unataka hiyo nini like a $2,000 flight voucher, very simple. Nimesema tumia promo code IKONINI, alafu send at least $50, si ndio? Utapata bado hiyo $20 sign up reward, alafu utajipatia chance ya kushinda hiyo. Na usahau ni festive season. Hii compare kuna shindo inaendelea mpaka lini? Inaendelea between 8th December to January 8th 2026. So baki umechangamka. Yeah, haraka je. Si ndio? Wacha so turudi kwa show.